In this session, I'll be sharing with you all you need to know to create an empowering vision board to inspire you in the year ahead. What will you need? So, ideally a selection of fairly random magazines, including some that you might not normally use. You'll probably want a large sheet of paper or card, or you might choose to create your vision board on your wall. You'll need scissors and glue or blue tack. You might want glitter, scraps of paper. And most of all, you'll need time and space to yourself. What is a vision board? Okay. A vision board is a visual representation of what it is that you want to achieve, what you'd like to have, and who you'd like to be. It's that daily reminder. Occasionally, it's just one single image, but it's usually a selection, and it might include words, pictures, and colours that evoke feelings and just there to remind you of what it is that you want in your life. When's a good time to make one? Well, really, any time that you feel stuck, any time that you're planning some change, or perhaps you already find yourself in change. Or even if you're pretty happy with life, but just wondering what more could be out there for you. You'll often see a lot of vision boards created around the new year. But honestly, the answer is any time at all. Do vision boards work? Well, yes and no. We get more of what we focus on. So if you take your vision board and place it on the wall, expecting it to magically change your life, it probably won't work. But if you take the time to focus on it, you'll almost certainly find that it will make a real difference. And I'm going to share with you why. First of all, I'm going to talk a little bit about how vision boards can help build self-belief. All of my work is based around self-belief, and so it's really exciting for me to know that vision boards can be supportive in this way. Self-doubt often comes up when we sense something new or scary or potentially risky, and any kind of change can trigger this. But when you focus on your vision board, especially any parts that feel like they might be a little scary, and you believe that your vision is possible, you mentally rehearse that situation happening. And that mental rehearsal through seeing that new situation every day, albeit on your vision board, has the effect of reducing the risk in your mind. It makes that new scenario feel much more comfortable. And it builds comfort, which means that you can build your belief that you can actually do it. So I really believe that you can involve your subconscious mind to get the very best vision board. Let me tell you why. The subconscious mind is huge. It's most of your brain, and it takes in over 2 million pieces of information every second. It's very good at storing and filtering all that information. And it's also really creative. Think about the ideas you've had out of the blue, on a walk or in the shower. All of those come from your subconscious. Your conscious mind, on the other hand, takes in around 7 pieces of information every second. And it often filters it so that what you consciously take in matches what you already believe. And that's how we get more of what we think about. Our brains work in such a way that we focus on what we focus on, we notice more of. It wants us simply to be right and looks for information that proves us right. So, for example, if I think, oh, when I'm running late, everything goes wrong and it makes me even later, I will notice all of the red lights and the slow traffic. And I'll completely ignore the times that the traffic lights were green. I'll filter them out because they don't match my belief that I'll be held up when I'm already late. Or do you ever think about buying a new car and suddenly see that very car everywhere you go? That's your brain proving you right. So if once you've created your vision board, you take time to focus on it, you'll filter in or notice more of the opportunities that come your way related to what it is that you want. And you will make the small and big decisions that take you closer. The conscious mind is also quite power hungry, and it gets tired very quickly when we ask it to do something creative. So this is another good reason to ask your subconscious mind to get involved. And to do this, it's useful to get into a flow state so the subconscious can work its magic, accessing all that information, making the connections, and providing you with answers. And when you're making a vision board, it's really useful to let the flicking through magazines create a flow state for you, allowing yourself to relax and let your subconscious take over. So, what types of vision board could you make? A very simple mood board. And this can often be used for interior design and sometimes for parties or projects. It's for when you know what you want. And it's a really useful way of sharing with other people. And the other type, the type you'll almost certainly be looking for in your vision board, is discovery. And this is for uncovering the unknown. And some people know them too as action boards or dream boards. Setting your intention for your board is really important. So please don't skip this part, even if it feels like it's slowing you down. First of all, think about what period you're working with. Sometimes it's a year, and I'll talk about a year as I go through some questions. But choose whatever time period works for you. And write your answers out longhand in a journal, on a scrap of paper, or in the workbook. It doesn't matter where, but the process of writing is where you give this task to your subconscious. So in the workbook, you'll find a list of questions to start with. Or you can choose your own questions. It's entirely up to you. So some of the questions are, if money, fear, or judgment weren't in play, what would you have? What would you do? Who would you be in 1 year from now? What beliefs would you like to let go of? What beliefs would you like instead? Take time to consider how you'd like to feel as well. So knowing how you want to feel in the future can be a really key part of your future vision. So don't ignore any of those feelings that come up. And finally, before you start, you might like to meditate. It can be another great way to let your subconscious know that there's a big task on the way. You might meditate quietly, or you might choose something that feels right for this moment. I'll copy below this video my ideal day meditation, which might work for you. And finally, it's time to start creating that vision. So allow some time for this. It might take a couple of hours. Gather together everything that you need and make sure that you won't be interrupted. You might want some music on in the background. But settle down with your selection of magazines and flick through, allowing yourself to relax. And simply pull out pages or images or words that appeal to you. You might not know why, but that's absolutely okay. Just trust your subconscious and go with it. You should end up with a handful, a pile of images and words. And you might choose to add handwritten words or sketches as you go, or onto your final board. And it doesn't matter how many images or words you have. As I said, some people will have one single image and others will have a selection. So whatever works for you. Once you've checked through your pile and done any refining that you need to do, you might discard some of them now, or you might feel there's some gaps. But go ahead and piece together your board in a way that feels right for you. You might group your images by theme. You might scatter them in what feels like a random arrangement. Again, your subconscious will be working on this for you too. As you finalize your board, you might choose to add in some goals. They might be number goals or money goals. And you can allow it to be a work in progress during the year. So you might know that you have gaps on there. You might be open to leave some space to see what else feels important. And the last thing to do with your vision board is to display it somewhere where you'll see it every single day. And make sure that you're taking the time to really notice it, to take in the feeling of it. Believe that it's actually real for you. Feel that it's actually happening. And remember, you don't need to explain it to anybody. This is just for you. It might also feel really good to explain it. Some people will display their boards privately. Some people will display them in public. Again, do what works for you. Do what is most likely to build your self-belief. And do what is most likely to take you towards that future vision. And finally, in this session, if you have any questions at all about this workshop, about how you can pull together your vision board, or anything technical at all, please do email me. I'm at hello@sarahlinus.co.uk. Alternatively, you can get hold of me by direct messaging me on my social media. I hope you've enjoyed this session, and I will see you soon.